You're listening to the Snob OS Podcast, the podcast for Apple snobs. Yo, this is Terrance Gaines, aka Brother Tech.
And this is Nica Montford, aka Tech Savvy Diva.
And welcome back to the Snob OS Show, the show for Apple snobs, where we talk all things Apple and then some. We are back with another episode. This is episode 347 of our show. I say that right? Yeah, 347.
Yeah.
347th episode of the Snob OS Show. And we want to thank everybody for joining, for listening thus far. That 300 is a lot of episodes, so we want to thank everybody that's been listening for day one. We also want to thank those who have been paying to get this exclusive content that you will not hear on this week's show. We talk some tech. Most of the time we don't. We just be shooting the shooting the shit.
Shooting the breeze.
Yeah, no, shoot the breeze, but the political term is shoot the breeze. And we talk about some stuff. Like this week, I'm talking about my favorite thing is I'm fascinated with Slate articles and people writing into their advice column about all kind of fascinating subjects. So that's kind of stuff we'll be talking about this
And we
week.
got to talk about the ice, the impending doom and gloom.
For those who don't know, in Atlanta, it's supposed to be some snow and some ice this weekend, and Atlanta's losing it already. So we'll talk about that on the exclusive show. If you want to be a Patreon supporter, please go to patreon.com/snoboscast. Learn how you can become a subscriber there and get that content you will not find on the show. On this show, we're going to be talking about Apple edging out Samsung for the number one smartphone maker spot. We're going to talk about update your home or else. We'll talk about rebooting your iPhone and why you need to do that. We'll be talking about, water is wet news. Ads are coming to ChatGPT. We'll be talking about, for the culture, some local news. We'll be talking about the new coaching change for the Atlanta Falcons and what our early ideas or thoughts are on that move. And in the hookup, as I normally do, I'm going to talk about how unsubscribing from emails may not be the best idea. So we're going to get into that and more on this week's show. We always start with the lowdown. That's where we talk all things Apple. And like I mentioned at the top, it looks like, as of recently, according to new data from tech market research firm Counterpoint, Apple was the world's number one smartphone maker in 2025 with a 20% market share. Samsung had a 19% market share, followed by Xiaomi.
I think that's how you say it.
Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo with a 13, 8, and 8% market share, respectively. So I just wanted to get your takes on what is Apple doing right, what they need to do more of to hold that spot. Because if I remember, Apple and Samsung kind of flip-flop for a while. It seems like Apple's got a couple percents higher on the market share, but can they keep it?
I think at this point, it really is just who has more money, meaning the consumer at the time, because like you said, it has been flip-flopping. It's only a 1% market share difference. And I don't know. I honestly, if Apple can't really get a handle on this Apple Intelligence or Siri AI or whatever they're doing, I think it may flip. It could potentially, because people, like we've said before, people are really, on the edge and are a little fed up with the whole thing. And, so it's all those things where it's like, it's a very volatile type of situation where it can kind of go either way. I did see on social media, of course, speculation that for the iPhone 28 that we get this year, the iPhone 18.
No, it'd be, yes. Wait. The OS would be OS 27. And then the phone would be the 18.
18. Okay. With these years, I was like, wait a minute. That's not right. But anyway, so the one that's supposed to come out in 2026
Mhm.
Apparently, the dynamic island is shrinking significantly,
Okay.
and the camera placement on the front is it's not going to be quite a pinhole, but it's
Mhm.
going to be small and it's going to be off to the left side. And a lot of
Mhm.
people are speculating because if you notice, a lot of the UI type of functions on the iPhone, they are kind of shifting toward the
Right
left
side.
alignment. So
Oh, to
people
the
are
left.
saying, yeah, that's an indication that this camera, this front facing camera is going to be smaller. The
Mhm.
dynamic island is going to be smaller and it's going to shift to the left edge. And then allegedly, the camera, the phone after that, which will be the
19.
27 phone, the 2027 phone,
I got it.
will so what that'll be the iPhone 19
Yes.
is going to completely get rid of the dynamic island and that front facing camera, and Face ID is going to be behind the glass.
Got it.
So it's not going to necessarily need that camera so much because it'll be screen the camera behind the screen, so it won't necessarily need that pinhole cut out. So those types of things and the mock-ups that I saw look pretty interesting. So those types of things I think will kind of nudge, keep Apple with kind of like its slim, number one spot.
Mhm.
But again, that's on the hardware side. If they can't figure out the software, people aren't it's only so much you can do now with these phones because they all are starting to look the same.
Mhm.
And, to really make a, a big splash, you're going to have to do something extraordinary or out of the ordinary from what we've seen now, basically are cookie cutter phones. So I think that's really the only thing that's going to make one of these two main ones, or even one of these smaller three ones, kind of leapfrog or, make a huge jump, is if they do something that's outside of the typical cookie cutter phone that we get now.
So what
Because
about the rumored, foldable iPhone that is rumored to come out? You think that'll make a dent or extend their lead, or will Samsung eat into it with their folds?
I think it'll just be interest, kind of like how the the Vision Pro came out, how the iPhone Air came out. I think the purchases will likely be spurred by interest,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
once that initial kind of wow kind of dissipates, I think it'll kind of settle unless it's a really great product. Now, if
Mhm.
it's not a great product, then
Let me ask this then. You bring up a
uh-huh.
good point. What would make, let's just go off on a tangent a little bit. What
Okay.
would make the iPhone Fold this dope product that people will rush out to buy, similar, not similar to, but reminiscent of how we used to go stand in line for iPhones of old?
Yikes, that's a good question. I think one of the big things, at least for me, is the way that the fold works,
Okay.
what the fold looks like, what the screen looks like.
Mhm.
Because if you look at, a Samsung Fold or some of the other ones, again, with that hinge or with that fold, it kind of creases and lifts. If they can figure out, we talked about this before, it's all about the material. It's all about
Mhm.
material science. If they can figure out the material that allows it to lay flat, literally flat and seamless, and you can't really tell that
Mhm.
there
Mhm. Mhm.
is a hinge or a fold there, I think that would really set them apart from anybody else. Again, I
Mhm.
think if they come up with a new material, and I'm not just meaning a new screen material, but I'm
Mhm.
thinking around the casing. Maybe that's where people are going wrong. They are trying to keep the traditional casing of the phone. Maybe if they change the casing, maybe that'll have some impact on what it looks like as well. So I think if they can get it where it actually looks good,
Mhm.
folded, and not just look good when it's unfolded, because let's be honest, most of the time people are not going to have this thing,
Open all the way up.
folded to its full
Mhm.
viewing. They'll use that if they're watching a movie or a video or
Mhm.
reading something, but majority of the time they're
Mhm.
going to need it folded because it needs to fit in their pocket or in their
Mhm.
purse
Mhm.
or in
Mhm.
their jacket. And with it unfolded, it leaves, some kind of wiggle room in there to not be as portable or, nice looking, honestly. So I think if they can figure out how to make it look good closed, I think that will be I think that will give them a win because if you look at the Samsung when you fold it, it looks a lot skinnier
Mm-hmm.
and longer. It doesn't look like a typical phone. So if they can do, to me, it seems like small things, but to me, the devil's in the details. If they can make it look like an iPhone that is when it's folded,
Like a
it looks
regular
like a regular
iPhone.
iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
to me, those are the kind of things that I think will make it actually valuable because we already have these great cameras. We already have the great screen response.
Mm-hmm.
So now to me at this point, it's about the aesthetic and how it looks.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Nika says if the iPhone Fold looks nice, it will Apple will maintain its dominance as the number one smart maker. So, all right, moving on to the next story. Update your home or else. If you are a HomeKit user and you're an Apple Home user that uses your phone to turn on and off lights, to open doors, to unlock doors, things of that nature, you may want to update your home app. Apple is alerting that users that haven't yet upgraded their Apple Home setup around February 10th, sending out a reminder emails to users that support is about to end for the old versions. Users that don't update by the deadline of February 10th could have their access to their entire home platform blocked.
Yikes. That's
But it's
extreme.
yeah, well, it's not as bad as it sounds because they're not talking about iOS 18.
Uh-huh.
From the story that I read, the new version of Home requires a minimum of iOS 16.2, iPadOS 16.2, macOS 13.1, tvOS 16.2, and watchOS 9.2 to be installed on users' devices. So we're on iOS 18 right now as far as the phones are concerned. So that's two OSs back, right?
Mhm.
So if you ain't updated your phone or your iPad or your Mac, anything that you use to operate your home, and you ain't updated in like 2 generations, I mean, you got other problems outside of the home app, right? If you listen to us, we tell you time and time and time and time and time again to update because of security, update because of this, update because of that. Now, I hope updating the home app is not going to be oh, you know what? I need to update my phone from iOS 13.2 to iOS 18. Probably need to get a new phone. Again, like I said, if you
Trust
ain't
me,
up,
I have these old my mom being one of them,
oh,
these
really?
old OSs, and it's like, "Oh, well, it works just fine. I don't need to do anything. It's okay."
Okay.
And I'm like, "Oh
Mm,
god.
okay. Be
Give me your
careful.
phones. Let me," and it's like, everybody, my aunts, they were like, "Give me the phones. Let me go
Mhm,
through the things and make sure you're protected and your stuff is up to date because otherwise, really people don't." Like, I just checked my home app because I was like, I haven't been in the home app in a minute. I was like,
mhm, mhm,
let me go and look and see. And I was like, let me check, make sure my home pods, their firmware is up to
mhm,
date. I was like, let me check just to be sure. And I saw that I have the automatic updates turned on.
mhm,
So I was like,
mhm.
okay, at least that's good. So I was like, okay, I'm up to date. But at first, once I saw this, I was like, oh crap, have I not updated in a minute? And I was like, let me go and look and see what's going on.
Yeah. So of course, I use home app every day. I have a couple devices. I don't have my whole home outfitted.
Hmm.
Um, One of the reasons why is because when I first set up HomeKit in my house,
Hmm.
I used a not me account. I We have a family Apple ID when we first got iPhones. It was like, all right, we're going to share apps, we're going to share this and that and the third. No need for us to have our own Apple ID, our separate Apple IDs, right?
Hmm.
Now we've grown, the family's grown. Now we do a lot of things via sharing. Now you can share stuff, right?
Hmm.
Before it was like, well, how do we share files? How do we share notes? Eureka, you use one account for both of the devices or all shared devices. Now you can share notes, you can share reminders, you can share um, all these kind of things. So now it's like, all right, well, I really don't need a home account. I have since moved all of our family pictures off of that family Apple ID, iCloud account. I've moved videos, I moved everything onto mine,
Hmm.
and then I just share it, right? I can share, you can create, side note, you can create a shared iCloud library to where all the members will see all those pictures. All you got to do is hit move to shared library, right? So you couldn't do that when I created that one singular account. Now that you can, the last bastion that this family account sits on is our home. I just ain't been late. I've been lazy. Ain't feel like creating a new home. I would leave. I would literally have to leave. All me, my wife, my kids would have to leave that home. I would have to turn off that, and then I have to start a new home and go through every light switch, every light
Every device you
bulb,
have on.
every. I was like, nope, I ain't doing it.
Not doing
So
it.
while this doesn't apply to me, probably what I need to do is go ahead and switch that account so I don't have to worry about it anymore. So, all right, next story I got is I would highly advise you to reboot your iPhone. So this is almost like for those people who don't update your OS as frequently as we would advise you to. There's a good chance, not a good chance. There is a chance that hackers will attack your phone because iPhone hacking and Mac OS hacking has grown in the past couple of years. I remember before it was like they won't even touch Macs and iPhones because don't a lot of people use them. So go after the Windows people, go after the Android people because there's millions of phones out there. Well, now call back to the first story. Apple is the number one smart maker with 20% market share over all these other people. Now the hackers like, all right, now we in business.
We got enough.
Now we got enough numbers out there to where we can start jacking people's stuff, right? So if you are one of those people who don't update on the regular, at the very least, you should reboot your iPhone. And what that does is it kills any spyware that is currently running on your phone. Like, let's say, for instance, you click the link in the mail and they added a cookie or they added something on your Safari or they added something on your phone that can kind of track what you're doing. In a lot of cases, keyloggers, to where they can track you typing numbers in and letters in. And if they can figure out if those align with any passwords, then that's what they got. But they have to monitor your keystrokes in order to do that. One way you do that is reboot your phone. And I'll just read this little quip from this story I read. Apple warns that iPhone attacks are underway and has released fixes to keep users safe. The bad news is that hundreds of millions of those users are now at risk. Check your iPhone now, and if you need to reboot, do so immediately. So I'll just add a little mini brother tech hookup. It's not very hard to reset your phone or reboot your phone. All you got to do is tell Siri, hey, restart my phone. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And then it restarts. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to press no fancy number combination, no button combinations. You ain't got to clickety click just to get it to reboot. In addition to just telling Siri, you can do it now in the control center. If you swipe down from the top right-hand corner to pull out all your little controls, there is a power button in the upper right-hand corner that you can press and it'll confirm and it'll restart. So there's two ways to reboot your phone. Don't do it now, just in case you're listening to the show. After the show's over, after you're not listening, please go reboot your phone just because.
Please.
Yeah. All right.
It's a simple, easy fix.
Yeah.
Won't take too long.
Nope. All right. So that is going to do it for the lowdown. We're going to move into second string where we talk tech in general. And I don't know if any of us called it. Maybe we should have put this in our predictions because that would have been a super easy win.
And a super easy guess.
Right. OpenAI will begin showing ads in ChatGPT to users in the United States in the coming weeks. To start, sponsored ads will appear at the bottom of ChatGPT responses when relevant products and or services are mentioned in an ongoing conversation with the chatbot. The ads will be separated from the organic response, and you'll be able to see more details about why that particular ad was displayed, as well as choose to reject it if you wish. So similar to now, you're starting to see, not now, but you see ads in Facebook when you're on a post, and at the bottom, they'll show you like a very small little box of a related ad that you can click on. You'll start seeing that in ChatGPT. So if you are a heavy ChatGPT user and you've got an ongoing conversation about, I don't know, redoing your LinkedIn profile, you've contracted ChatGPT to help you spruce up your LinkedIn profile. If you're having a long conversation about administration or operations or development or engineering, you will start to see ads about development or administration or operations based on the relevant context and conversations you're having with ChatGPT. Which, I mean, what company would not bite at the idea of displaying ads to you based off of personal information that they know about you? Which is why it's always been my thing. It's like, I don't trust it, because all they're doing is creating a profile for you that then they can then sell you stuff on. So again, I'm not surprised this is coming. Nobody's probably surprised that this was coming, because it makes perfect sense, because they know about you because you tell it all your business.
So that's the funny thing about this. This is basically in line with what Facebook does, with
Mhm,
what, you know, going on a web browser does, with
mhm,
what Instagram does. When you talk about things or when you like things, it's advertisers saying, "Okay, give me all that information, give me all that information." And I think the thing with ChatGPT is the way they came onto the market, it exploded. It was a lot of people's first introduction to consumer-based AI,
mhm.
and it was so popular, everybody was talking about it, and everybody flocked to it. "Oh, you don't have to pay for this? Oh, this is free? Wow, this is great." Nothing is ever free. I
Dummy.
don't care how you slice it and dice it, it's never free. What they did was they lured you into
Mhm,
their little web
mhm,
with it was cozy and had all the snacks and
mhm.
it was pretty and it was fun,
Good
and now that
conversation and no judgment.
yeah, and now that they've got you in and got you basically hooked, got
Mhm,
you locked in because now this chatbot knows you, it knows your tone, it knows things, about you that it can easily whip up when you ask it or prompt it a question. It already knows how you speak and what works for you. And now you've become so dependent on it. People use ChatGPT for literally everything. Basic things that their mind usually could kind of work through. Now I was like, well, I got to think about it. I can just go and let ChatGPT tell me. Now you're in it. And
mhm.
now extricating yourself from it is going to be hard. And now there's like, well, win for us. You thought it was free. Nope, there's
Mhm.
always a price to pay. And now the price that you're going to have to pay is getting these
Contending with
ads on your
ads.
screen,
Yep, yep. Contending
cutting
with
into that screen real estate of the chat that the response you're looking at. And I got to scroll a little bit extra because this ad is going to take up, it looks like the lower third
mhm,
of your
mhm, mhm,
screen,
mhm.
right above where you enter in your prompts. So you have no choice but to look at it straight on because it's right above where you type in your prompts.
And
So,
and right
yeah,
now and right now, that may be like, "Oh, that's no big deal. It's lower third. That's unobtrusive. That's not in the way." Now it's
now.
unintrusive. Same way Facebook started. You could barely see the ads.
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden you can't scroll up 2 screens before you get an ad. And before it was every now and again. Now you as soon as you open up Facebook and you swap one time, there's an ad. You gotta purposely open up Facebook, go to your friends tab just to see your friends' posts,
Yeah.
because now you just open up Facebook. They just interject anything similar to how Instagram and TikTok are now. But on top of that, they're now ads, right? And before
Right.
it was
And
out of the way, now they're all in your face.
And now currently this ad is in the lower third, but if it's true to what I think it's going to be, once you get a response back from your prompt, halfway through your
Oh, by the way, did you
response,
know?
it's going to be an ad sitting right in the middle of it that
And
you're
it's
going to
all
have to scroll past to get to the rest of your answer,
it
or you're
ain't
going to
even
have to
that.
click continue more or see more to get past the
It
ad.
it's
So
gonna
now
be
it's
like
not as intrusive, but the intrusiveness is coming, friends.
it's gonna be like, what's the name of that movie where the dude played by Jim Carrey was in the dome and they created a TV show off his life?
Oh, I see it, shoot.
And
I see the film in my face, and I
right.
know what it is, but it's
So,
just
he was having a one of the one when it was start when he was starting to figure out what was going on, he was talking to his wife, who was an
mhm,
actor, and he was like, what's going on? But she had to read this ad. So she was like, oh, baby, I don't know. Sit down and have some coffee made in the hills of Colombia. So and so. He was like, what is going on? That's what you're going to get with ChatGPT. You're going to be talking to it, asking it about your LinkedIn profile. And it's going to be like, speaking of profiles, did you know that 30% of the people who use this class right here was able to find a job within 6 months? Let me know if you want to know more information about it. And you can be like, no, ChatGPT. Oh,
The
okay.
Truman Show.
The Truman Show. That's what it was. That's what
The
that
ChatGPT show.
that is going to be. Fast forward 20 years. That's how we're going to be living, to where
Yep.
all of our devices, anything we communicate with, is going to be like, oh, by the way, your refrigerator's low on milk. There's a special at so and so public store that's going to give you 30% off, but act now. And this is like, no, I just wanted to know what's the weather today on the
Right.
fridge, right? So
Yep.
be ready. This is what y'all at. This is not what you asked for, but I'm surprised.
This is what you're getting.
This is what you're getting because you gave it all of that information.
Everything. Just pouring out your heart. Your whole therapy, having a whole therapy session with this thing.
It knows everything about you. So as a business, as a corporation, I mean,
it's smart business. I mean,
why wouldn't you? Who sits on a gold mine and be like,
I don't need any more gold.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We'll figure out another way to make money. We'll figure out another thing to innovate. And
when the money's sitting right in front of you, just yours for the taking.
Right. So we shall see. It is not the beginning of the end, but it is the beginning of the future.
Of a new normal.
Yeah, a new normal, which includes ads. All right, so that is it for Second String. We're going to move into For the Culture, where we talk anything cultural, or in this case, local. So for those who are not sports fans, I'll try to give you a little bit of background. Stefanski was the coach of the Cleveland Browns, who he had to deal with Baker Mayfield and his antics. He had to deal with Deshaun Watson and all his antics, his antics. They went through a bunch of quarterbacks, like 6 or 7 quarterbacks. It seemed like every year they was changing quarterbacks until they finally got, or begrudgingly got, Shedeur Sanders, who was Deion Sanders' son.
After they made him the 4th string quarterback.
After they pushed him back to round 4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he came on and he was like the 4th or 5th or 6th on the depth chart.
He was last.
Yeah. Stayed humble, kept doing his thing. Finally, his name was called and he did well. He didn't do spectacular. He had learning mistakes, but he did.
He's a rookie.
He did well.
With no reps with the first team.
Right. Clearly, there was an issue. I don't know if it was personal, professional, whatever, between Shedeur Sanders and Steven Stefanski, who was the coach. And for whatever reason, it seemed like I said Kevin
Stefanski. You said, I think you said
I said Steven. Kevin Stefanski, my bad. He had some sort of issue to where he would not play Shedeur Sanders, and when he played well, would not acknowledge the improvement.
Barely acknowledged him, period.
And was running some kind of weird plays that put him out, that kept Shedeur out of being
when you needed him in, when he would shine.
Right. So that was a whole thing. And fast forward towards the end of the season, Cleveland Browns let go of Kevin Stefanski. He's now in the hiring pool for all the coaches. It just so happens that Atlanta Falcons got rid of their coach, who was performing subpar. Side note, I think this was his first or second year. I can't remember how many years.
I think this was the second year.
They got him out of there quick.
Versus, they're not giving the brothers too much leeway.
Right.
If you're not winning a Super Bowl first season out, then bro, you got to go.
Right. This dude, Kevin Stefanski, was stinking it up in Cleveland for years.
Stinking it up.
Finally got rid of him. The Atlanta Falcons have had this brother as a coach for 2 years now. Look, give credit where credit is due. Dude was doing some janky stuff as coach. But look.
But they gave him Kirk Cousins his first year.
There was quarterback controversy between Kirk Cousins and
Pinks, I think, is that
Penix.
how you count it? Say it.
His name is
Penix, I think. Pinks.
Penix, and he got injured, which didn't help. So Kirk Cousins got in there, and somehow Kirk Cousins got a bag again. He was the dude that was always tagged franchise player in Minnesota and got all that money.
Giving him chance after chance. He's going to do it this time. He's going to do it this time. He never did. The only thing he did was got their money.
He did which for what he was making, he should have been doing more than but absolutely. I digress.
Yeah.
Fast forward to recently, and it finally came out on this week or maybe last week.
I think it was last week.
That the Atlanta Falcons president of football, Matt Ryan of all people.
Ryan of all people. My God.
Who was hired as the president of operations, I think is what he was hired as.
Something like that.
So they did their interviews, and I'm reading from this story. After 2 weeks of interviews that included talking to 9 different candidates, the team named Kevin Stefanski the 20th head coach in Atlanta Falcons franchise history. This says there was a story that I wanted to read, or a little part of this, to where they Arthur Blank, the coach, the owner of the Falcons, they had him to Stefanski had Stefanski to his house. They had a barbecue, so it was buddy, chummy, and I guess they didn't need to hear or see any more. They have elected this dude as the new coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So, knowing Stefanski's history with the Browns, knowing the Falcons cannot get right ever since they lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots. I think that's where it just tanked from there, right? In your opinion, do you think this is going to work, or is it going to be more of the same for both Stefanski and the Falcons?
More of the same.
Okay.
That's an easy answer. And the thing with Kevin Stefanski, he had obvious issues with Shedeur Sanders.
Sure.
And, people talk, people make assumptions. And a lot of people are saying it was because he was a young, Black, flashy quarterback whose dad is a Hall of Famer, who's well-known, who's, an icon. And you bring him here to one of the blackest cities in the country, where his dad, your former quarterback, was a star. And you now have another young quarterback. He's not as flashy. He's not as, and I don't even think Shedeur is flashy, so to speak. He's a young,
not compared to the Baker Mayfields, not compared to the Johnny Manziels, not compared to all these people that come before him, and everybody's like, oh, passion. When Shedeur Sanders he needs to be humbled, but we digress.
Right. So my thing is, you look at what he did in Cleveland with that kid, and now you come here, bro. I don't know if you saw DC Young. I think DC Young Fly, Young, whatever the comedian. Yeah. His response was hilarious. But I mean, what he was saying, it was rooted in truth. You're gonna bring someone here who already has a reputation for being harmful to one of the, native sons. I know Dion isn't from Atlanta, but he might as well be. He played for both the Falcons and the Braves.
Cowboys.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, you did a native son, son like that. It's like, bro, you coming here with that, whatever it is on your shoulder. And you haven't really, to me, from what I've seen from him, shown anything to back up his reason. And to me, this kind of goes back to what we talked about a few weeks ago when we're talking about Apple and their Apple Intelligence and Google and Microsoft and Meta. They're circling around the same people over and over to different jobs within the same space. If you're not doing it great at one place, what's the likelihood of you going to do it great at the next place? So that's my thing with a lot of these coaching. They just take the same people and just
Mhm.
shift them around. And you don't give the people who you should be given a chance. You gave Raheem Morris. Granted, he wasn't the greatest, but he was a new head coach. He was new to this team. He was starting basically from scratch with his quarter with his offense.
Mhm.
And 2 years and you're out because you weren't performing the way I want. But you've seen what this guy can do over multiple head coaching jobs, and you still bring him in. I said, we went to see my cousin's baby this weekend, and I was telling them, I was like, I really think that the Atlanta Falcons is a front. I think this can't be real. They are running money. They're what do you call it when you're cleaning money? What's the word I'm
Laundering,
looking
money
for?
laundering.
Yes, I
Mhm.
think it's a money laundering operation because there's no way that they can keep doing stuff like this and it'd be okay and they still make money. I
I'm
think they're cleaning money
I'm
because it makes no sense what they're doing.
I'm curious as to what the Falcons, Matt Ryan, Arthur Blank. I am curious as to what they saw in this dude
To
that
say,
they
yeah.
was like that were like, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. It didn't seem. Oh, this is what I wanted to read. Right.
Mhm.
The Falcons hosted Stefanski for an in-person interview that reportedly lasted all day and included a barbecue at Arthur Blank's house. After that dinner, Blank reportedly offered Stefanski a contract to become the next head coach. Like, sounds like it was on the spot. So
It
I
sounds
don't.
like they'd already made their decision, honestly.
But why? What
Well,
in
the
him?
problem is you got Matt Ryan as president of football operations. That's problem number one.
Mhm,
How did
mhm.
he get this gig?
Right.
I
Well, I
mean, these
mean,
people keep failing up. It's just like,
yeah.
again, it has to be a money laundering operation because there's no way that people with the amount of it of influence and knowledge and expectation can make some of these moves that they're making. It just befuddles me. Like, how do you come up to these decisions? Do you have like coaches in one, hat and, players in another, and you're just randomly picking people out of a hat? Because that's really what it seems like. It doesn't seem like any I would really be interested to know how they came to this decision because with Matt Ryan and with Stefanski,
Mhm.
how did you get here? Because it's nuts. And one of my other cousins said the Falcons won't ever be great until they, do right by Michael Vick. And my thing was, I was like, the other thing is they have to do right by all these black churches, these historical black
That they
churches that
tore
they tore
down to
down
make
to make this
Mercedes-Benz stand.
stadium. You're
Mhm.
playing on
Hollow
soiled
sacred
land.
ground.
Right.
Mhm.
So I don't know. They need to talk to the Lord, pay homage to the ancestors. I don't know, apologize to Mike Vick, whatever. But until they do that, they're gonna keep stinking it up. Just
Yeah.
stinking it up.
Again, I'm not a coach, I'm not executive, uh I'm not even a sports fan like that, right? But I follow along what's going on.
Hmm.
And it don't take a scientist or some sports statistician
You don't gotta be John Madden to figure this out.
to find to know that what's the Stefanski the best ideal candidate for this job?
They said they interviewed 9 people. Is that what the article
It
said?
said it interviewed 9 people over a couple weeks.
And this
Uh,
is the top. The other 8 must have been trash.
I don't
Mm-mm.
know, but I don't we shall see. Maybe the stars align and maybe,
Maybe
you
we'll
know
be proven wrong.
right, because the Falcons do have a good running back who has been carrying the team for the most better part of the year. Again, they didn't make the playoffs, but there were a couple games where he kept them in. You know, the young quarterback who got injured, he's young, so they've got something to work with. But again, I don't Stefanski with all the quarterback changes. I don't know if this dude is the pick for a young quarterback, right? A young black quarterback,
Mm.
rather. So we shall see about this one.
Looking a little dicey.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so that is going to be it for the culture. We're going to move into the hookup, and I'm going to tell you why you probably should block emails as opposed to unsubscribing for them. These hackers, they have gotten smart, and they know that when we get spam emails, one of the first things that we do is scroll to the bottom, click that unsubscribe. It's hidden, that little tiny font.
Mm-hmm.
Unsubscribe, click that, confirm your email address, click yes, I want to get subscribed, and it unsubscribes. On top of, you can't be you can't be 100% sure that they are unsubscribing you in the first place.
Right.
Number two, these hackers have gotten smart and have encoded that little unsubscribe button so they can collect your email address and confirm that that is an actual email address that somebody utilizes. And then they either use that to get the rest of the information, or they just spamming you with all kind of stuff right now. Worst
That's
case
how they
scenario,
start building their profile of you. They verify that this is an actual email.
right? Worst case scenario, the email or whatever you're putting in to subscribe is the last piece of the puzzle that they need, and then they off to the races. So, what should you do? In a lot of cases, step one, go to the website and update your notification preferences on the website. Similar to how once you click unsubscribe, it takes you to the website and it say, do you want to subscribe to all? Do you want to unsubscribe from marketing content? Do you want to unsubscribe from information about your order, or unsubscribe from all? You can go to the website and do that straight up, update your notification preferences, and then that way you'll get rid of it. The other way you can get rid of it is to block the email that the message, whether it be a legit marketing or a you suspected of spamming. It'll say no reply at whatevercompany.com, long email address. If you don't care, instead of going down and subscribe, just block the whole email. You ain't even got to worry about it, right? Number three, this is a bonus. If you are an Apple user and you're an iCloud Plus user, you can create, I call them burner email accounts, to where when you do sign up to get the 20% off, or you sign up to get the free consultation, or you sign up to get the whatever thing that they're offering to collect your email address, give them the fake email address.
Click on that hide my email button.
Get the email. What you get the email, get the discount, go into the iCloud Plus settings, deactivate the email address, and you're done. Right. So those are my 3 tips to where, in addition or instead of clicking unsubscribe, you either need to go to the website, change your notification preferences, block the email altogether, or if you're an iCloud Plus subscriber, you can make a burner email address, sign up for the thing, get the deal, and then deactivate the email address. Because, like I said, these hackers are getting smart, and you clicking unsubscribe is not enough anymore. All right, so that's going to do it for the hookup, and that means that's going to do it for this week's show. So, Nica, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at Tech Savvy Diva everywhere.
And you can find me all over the internet at Brother Tech. That's BROTHATECH. To connect, comment, share, support with the show, please go to snobboyscast.com. You can listen to the episodes there if you're not downloading them on your app. Go to the website, get all the information about us, get all the information about the episode. And until next week, we are out. Peace.
Bye, everybody.